My name is Jacob, and you're watching my show about literature, and only literature. The aspect of evolution in Conan the Barbarian plays a striking role in the way that it shapes our understanding of Hyboria and its people. Their history and development is described by Robert E. Howard as a tumultuous series of evolution and de-evolution, preceded by catastrophic and violent world events. For example, in his outline of Hyboria, the author describes how, at the time of the cataclysm, a band of savages whose development was not much above that of the Neanderthal fled to the north to escape destruction. They found the snow countries inhabited only by a species of ferocious snow apes, huge, shaggy white animals, apparently native to that climate. These they fought and drove beyond the Arctic Circle to perish, as the savages thought. The latter then adapted themselves to their hardy new environment and throve. These accounts repeat themselves over a period of several millennia, with various races becoming more evolved, overtaking one another, and building grand empires only to watch them burn to the ground in a sudden apocalypse. The point behind all of this is to show how Hyboria, and more specifically Conan, came into existence. He is the direct result of natural selection and has evolved into an alpha being that thrives in his environment of violence and war, and is illustrated by the way Howard describes him in an animalistic fashion. There is a very clear impression of the primal in Conan. It's as if he were a beast that merely walks in the form of a man, simply waiting to be unchained and devour the world. In one particular scene where he is wounded and cornered, the author writes, "Conan put his back against the wall and lifted his axe. He stood like an image of the unconquerable primordial, legs braced far apart, head thrust on high, with the great corded muscles standing out in iron ridges, and his features frozen in a death snarl of fury, his eyes blazing terribly through the mist of blood which veiled them. The men faltered, wild, criminal, and dissolute though they were, yet they came from a breed of men called civilized, with a civilized background. Here was the barbarian, the natural killer. They shrank back. The dying tiger could still deal death." This innate superiority reflects the individualistic overtones that I've talked about before. It seems that Howard uses every opportunity to praise this particular quality. It might seem redundant to say it at this point, but the Conan stories really do function on a certain level as a platform for individualism. The idea of evolution is simply used here as a literary tool to further emphasize this ideal. Now, some of you may have noticed that Ayn Rand, who was a proponent of objectivism, was a contemporary of Robert E. Howard, and it's certainly true that their viewpoints have many direct parallels. However, I believe that there are several important ideas, especially the idea of altruism, which fall into conflict and render Howard's vision as something separate and unique. But, that's another issue for another time. Anyway, thanks for watching. As always, if you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts on Conan and how evolution affected his development as a character, please leave a comment below. Stay tuned for the next episode as we compare the film adaptations to the serials Conan the Barbarian. Peace!